Hello, this is Paul Chek. Welcome back to yet another one of my little video blogs. I hope you've been having fun watching these things. I do enjoy making them for you, hoping that we can all get together and have healthy I, we, and all core values, which is the subject of today. So as you can see, the I, we, and all of core values, this comes right out of PPS Success Mastery Lesson 1, probably the most important PPS lesson. That's why it's number 1. You can go to ppssuccess.com, look there. I think you can find that lesson at chekinstitute.com too. Lots of opportunities to learn and to grow. Today I just want to share a few tips with you on the importance of establishing I core values, we core values, and all core values. So let's have a look at what is in store today. First of all, I've drawn a little tree here. The tree is empty because it's a core values tree. So each branch is just a signifier of a place where you could put a value. In PPS Success Mastery Lesson 1, I take you through a process of creating a core values tree that's much more comprehensive than this. You actually place your values on it. But this is the model. So what we see is my little Chekism. I am the roots of my experience. I decide whether I feel loved or don't. I decide whether I have good digestion or not by what I put in my mouth. Remember, if a person keeps using their mouth as a garbage can, they have no right to complain about the way they feel. I decide what time I go to bed, therefore how much energy I have the next day. I decide how well I take care of myself and how important is that to me in my love relationships, right? Not too many women always want to hear, I'm tired, or I'm this, or I'm that. Now certainly they understand when you are tired, but they're also usually very aware of when you shouldn't be tired. Check your values. Okay, so I am the root of my experience means I accept responsibility for what I'm creating moment to moment in my life, and that's what it means to be a spiritual person. Nothing fancy, no religious affiliation, just the awareness to realize that we create our reality with our choices. Okay? The 4 categories, as I often speak, these are the minimalist categories. PPS Lesson 1 takes you deeper than this, but you have to have at minimum core values for yourself on what you're going to do to give yourself adequate quiet time. You have to define what happiness is for you and what your dream is. You have to decide how much exercise you need or movement you need of body, mind, and emotion. And you have to get clear on how much working in you need versus working out. If you don't understand those terms, you can find that well described in many of my video blogs. And then you got to decide what your doctor diet values are, because those are the most essential values. If you take any one set of those values away, you have a dysfunctional value system, and your life is likely to mirror that back to you. Okay, so if we look over here, when we're designing our own core values, we're looking at, to live my dream, I need. I need what do I need as my dream? What are the criteria of my dream? What do I need to feel happy in the creation of my dream and to be deeply enough connected to the dream and the creative process that I can endure the undulations that are natural to creating any novel experience? Most people think, oh, just because I have a dream, it's going to pop out of a box like Santa Claus is going to deliver it, but that wouldn't be any fun. Imagine if you wanted to be an elite athlete and all you had to do was dream it and you woke up and you were there. There'd be no process. There'd be no connection. You actually wouldn't be an athlete. You just look like one. So what do I need to create the process and to complete the process of living my dream each day? Remember, you don't live your dream when it's completed. If your dream is to live in a beautiful house that you build yourself, your dream doesn't begin when you move in the house. Your dream begins the day that you're clear on what you're doing and you start doing it. And you're in the dream when you're in the process. Just like a marathon runner training for a marathon is already a marathon runner as they train for the marathon. So remember, you are the root of your experience and your process. Now what we see here is the we values. We're looking at how do our values interact with somebody else's values. Key people are going to be spouses, children, and the key people on your dream team. Who is on your dream team? Most of us can't effectively create a dream alone, unless your dream is just a dream. You can do that alone. But when it comes to creating the dream and putting a body around it and giving it life experience, it usually takes a group of people, a team of people, or maybe just one, but there's always people involved. Your relationships are all 50-50 deals. So your I values, the key point being very honest about what you need, or you cannot effectively define yourself to know who you are in relationship. So you must be very clear on who you are so that your 50% is congruent. Otherwise, also, people will start having challenges because you might say one thing and act another way. You might want something, and then when it comes, say, I don't want it. You know, people that aren't well defined in who they are and what their dream is and what their values are usually very ill-defined in their decision-making process, which usually produces stress in relationships. So if you're clear on your 50%, then know that the other person has a chance to actually know who you are. The more of your 50% is authentic, the more they can look with awareness, listen with awareness, and feel with awareness, and actually trust what's coming to them. But if you show up as 20% less you, that creates a 10% deficit in your 50%. Now you're down to 40%. Now this person not only can never get to know you, but you can actually never get to know them either, because even if their 50% is 100% there, and you're 40%, you're missing the ability to see them. So paradoxically, if you don't manage your 50%, you create a two-way blindness. Consider that. So once you have your I values and you're building a dream team or you're working through a relationship challenge, you have to look to see, my wife's values are this, my values are this. In order to get along and live and love each other in harmony, where am I willing to compromise to support her needs? Where is she willing to compromise to support my needs? And when those two find balance, you have a good relationship. If they don't find balance, you're probably loud for your neighbors. Then we need to look at all values. Anytime you go to 3 people or more, so once a husband and a wife have a child, they're automatically catapulted to the spiritual responsibility of all. Anything you do outside of a personal relationship with one other person is influencing the all. You become tasked with the spiritual responsibilities of a teacher. So how you live here and how you live here is exactly what you contribute to the all at the top of the tree, or the collective whole. This area here, remember, your I plus your we equals your all. Every single person in the all is an I, and every single person in the all has we relationships. So the persons that make up the all of the world cannot really be any different than their I and their we relationships. So my first tip for you is, if you really want to improve the world, create your dream, live it, and love fully, and follow healthy 4 Doctors values. And not only will you be creating your own dream, but you will be establishing yourself through core beliefs and actions that also establish more safety and security in the world itself. Love is usually wise enough to pay attention to the influence of its dream on the environment, right? If our dream is something that requires that we destroy the environment, and not realizing we just lost all the other people that made up the all and the we can be dangerously alone. That's just a metaphor, okay? Meaning, look at the effects of the I and the we on the all, and it should be obvious. The key point I'm making is, many people who don't have core values, are not well self-managed, and have challenges in relationships, run around beating on doors and emailing guys like me trying to get us to help save the world, but it's very, very clear to someone who's grounded in reality what a fanatic looks like, or what someone who's avoiding responsibility of self as a diversion into other looks like. So remember, the best thing we can all do to help heal the world is to manage ourselves holistically and be wise and healthy in our relationships. And we've already done the job. If we all do that together, there's no need to change anything. We'll start buying wisely, living wisely, and the world will heal, hopefully, soon. Okay, so just a few little tips. Your dream must be clear. You must believe in it. And without clarity and belief, you're unlikely to take action. PPS Lesson 1 gives you information about how to qualify a dream. What's a realistic dream? Goal setting is very, very important for qualifying your dream. So if you look at PPS Success Mastery Lesson 3, goal setting, I take you through the science of goal setting, and I show you, by using the science of goal setting, how you can qualify not only your dream, but the steps you're going to take through outcome and process goals to get there. Be very honest about your needs. Your self-definition is 50% of your we. So if you're not honest in the creation of your core values, you can't be honest in relationships, and it means that's your contribution to the world. So stop complaining about lying politicians and cheating bankers and all that, because as as Confucius said, it was Lao Tzu in his sutras said, the government always is a reflection of the people. So fix the self and the government changes. Okay, third tip for you, very important. 5 essential factors to consider when writing your own core values. And as you're considering these things, ask yourself, how much more stress do I want in my life? If you're not careful and you start doing it all out of your black box, ideas based on other people's ideas, you can easily write down things that ultimately lead to stress in you. So as I said in my last blog, feel your rhythm, feel your pressure, feel your connection, feel your instincts, and check the ideas up here. And don't think you have to do what everyone else is doing, because you have novelty as an opportunity. So consider the stress you're under now, what you're trying to accomplish, and then say, how much time do I really have? And are my values enhancing my ability to get the time I need to create my dream and to rest and recover and to eat well, etc.? How much energy do I really have? Most people are, shall we say, a bit grandiose in their dreaming when it comes to how much energy they have. So be realistic with time, realistic with energy, and what is your willingness factor? If you say we have a 10 scale, 10 would be extremely willing, like a soldier that'll run through fire, and 0 is completely unwilling. My experience is if your willingness factor is not at least a 7 out of 10, you're unlikely to ever be effective at taking action in your dream and doing anything significant in the long run. So if your willingness factor is not 7 out of 10, it means you re-qualify your dream. It means you're not that committed. Finances. What is your financial status? What do you need to achieve your dream? And what's the least stressful, most efficient, most effective way to get the finances? And don't feel like you got to solve that problem in an instant. Ask around. Okay? And do you need any specific equipment or anything else that would be classified as equipment? Lighting, tools, toys, whatever it is that you need to effectively live your dream and your values. For example, you might need a new alarm clock. Or you might need a kettle that doesn't make so much noise so you don't wake your wife up when you get early in the morning to rise. So what equipment do you need? And as you're figuring that out, always be aware if the thought or the emotion of it is making you more stressful, you need to reevaluate whether that's maybe the best value to try to execute at this time in your life. As Arnold Patton says, whenever we're going through a change process, the most important thing we can do is make peace with where we are now. So if right now you're in financial hardship, the best thing to do is make peace with that and make it your dream to resolve that hardship, because going into a new dream that requires more money, that puts you more in debt, actually adds more stress and decreases your likelihood of going forward. So before you try to add another layer, remember it's good to scrape the old paint off before you put new paint on. And the way you do that in dream building is you make peace with where you are right now, and you do the work as your dream to prepare to build your dream. That's part of your dream. Okay? That's my tips for today. Hope you enjoyed this little video blog. I will see you along the way with something, I'm sure. Take care.